Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all can be with us. We're about to join our friends over on the Amazon Live side, so they can be part of our chat for today. We're excited about today's guest. She's joining us today to talk to us not only about the way she's been able to expand on her platform, but also how she's been able to use her gift of words and also empowerment to be able to help others as well. If you guys are not following our guest for today, we'll let you know how to be able to find her as well. But those of you who are tuning in on the Amazon side, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Ware Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. One of the things you will see is this book by our next guest, And Your God Shall Be My God by Melanie D. Phillips. We're going to talk to Melanie not only about her journey, not only as an author, but also as a speaker, and also building brands that are empowering both men and women. If you guys are not following Melanie, we'll let you guys know how to do that. But Melanie, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you. And it's always a pleasure to be interviewing with you. Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Look, it's always great to have on. You always have something new to talk to us about. And you and I had a great call, and we were talking about some of the great things that you're doing. So, Melanie, I want to begin there. What has it been like for you to have initially built this brand around being able to help mothers and daughters, and now to be able to see the way it's expanded to even include men and young boys?
It's been a blessing. I started off with mothers and daughters, helping them to, you know, uh, communicate more in their relationship, getting the conversation started about why their relationship may be broken or may not have been broken, but they needed to maybe, just expand more, love more, communicate more, and be together more. But fathers, when you're talking about strengthen the bond and what I do, you're talking about families, and fathers are a great deal when it comes to families, whether they're in the house or not in the house. But
Yeah.
fathers make up a big part of the family, and when the family is broken down, the community is broken down. So trying to help build it back up, we look one layer at a time.
Mhm. It's interesting we're having this conversation, Melanie, and I didn't even think about this when we booked this segment. That coming up Wednesday, November the 19th, is International Men's Day. It does not get as much of attention as some of the days for the ladies, which is, I totally understand. But this day was established to be able to spotlight the good that men are doing in the family, in the community, and around the world. And I'm bringing that up because of what you just said, because I think a lot of times, unfortunately, us guys, we sometimes get a bad rap about what we don't do. But what has it been like for you to be able to show not only, of course, the contribution of men, namely fathers, but also the active role they have not only in the family but also in the community?
Men play a great the especially in the family. Uh, and the men is actually, it's a breakdown. So many times we hear of how the man is not present in the home, but what about the men that is present in the
Yeah.
home? What about the men that is stepping up and being that mentor for those boys or for those young ladies that who does not have a father? A lot of, yes, men, and I can say this about women too. There are women, there are mothers that does not play their part as well, but we always hear about the men, and there are some great men that's out here doing some great things,
Yeah.
that linking arms with other men and other boys and being great mentors and father figures. And we have to make sure that we celebrate those men, and they also have a voice and they need to be heard.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, you mentioned, of course, your larger umbrella, which is strengthen the bond. How did this all begin for you, Melanie?
Wow. Uh, so in the beginning, back in 2016 and 17, we're talking about strengthening the bond. It was dealing mostly with the mothers and daughter.
Hmm.
And throughout the years, as I was having conferences and retreats and mother-daughter anthologies, I always heard the men's, especially because I used to own a hair salon and barbershop when I lived in Wisconsin. And they used to always say, Melanie, what about us? What
Hmm.
about the men that are doing great things? What about us? We have a voice as well. And I said, I promise I'm gonna say something about you guys. I promise. Well, it didn't come until last year and this year where the Holy Spirit said it's time for you to expand and do more than just, talk about the mothers and daughters, because the men, their voices also need to be heard and they need to be seen as well. So
Yeah.
it's been a blessing just bringing them in. So this year, mainly, I have been talking more about men and boys, and actually going out in the community talking to the men like I did last night. Out in the community talking to a lot of men, and their voices, they were so eager to talk to me. And some guys, they were saying, I am just in chills because finally we are being seen and heard from somebody. And I can only talk about it coming from a woman's point of view, but
Sure.
because I'm not a man, I cannot really speak on that. A man has to talk about their issues and what they have gone through and how they are getting through it.
Right. And it's such a great thing that you're doing, Melanie, and it's a great conversation piece. I tell people with my platform, yes, a lot of my platform is dealing with media, but it really is about showing other men what is possible and the impact we can be able to have in our community and also in the world. And I think again, that is not always talked about. Typically we kind of hear the negative. That seems to be the loudest voice, but I really try to use my platform to show and spotlight that, what other men are doing. I want to go back to what you mentioned, because you mentioned, of course, you're doing these in-person events, you've done virtual events. Melanie, this has been a busy year for you. You mentioned Milwaukee, you did an event in Milwaukee recently. What has it been like for you to see the growth of Strength in the Bond, both online and offline?
A blessing. It's a blessing. I can say sometimes I do get tired, but when I think about how Strength in the Bond has blessed and touched so many people and what they have to say, and listening to them, how they say, Melanie, you have helped me, your organization has helped me, and it's a blessing to me. So I feel like, hey, I can keep fighting that fight for families. I can keep fighting that fight for legacy and communities, just helping them and I'm not doing it by myself. I,
Sure.
I my director of marketing and operations, her name is Latasha Thompson, and she has been great, and she's actually behind the scenes and she does a whole great deal. So we are getting this thing done, and we're trying to make sure that everybody is being seen and heard, and that's my contribution to not just the legacy, but overall for people to, when I leave this earth, they can say at least she tried to bring families together. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to be known for, bringing families together, reviving them, getting so that they can be seen, so that they can be heard, so that they can better communicate with each other. And and just so that they can have that relationship, if it's broken down, so they can start building that relationship back up. So I've been excited. It's very exciting, and I'm just loving every bit of it.
Right. And I know you're definitely making an impact. Hello to you, Nellie. Nellie, I think it's pronounced Benico or Benico. Thank you so much for being with us over there on the Amazon side. Thank you so much for the follow. I want to thank you guys also for the love over there on Facebook and YouTube as well. We appreciate you guys joining us there. I want to reset real quick, Melanie, and say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. Melanie D. Phillips is our guest today. She's an author, entrepreneur. She's a speaker. She's also the founder of the organization Strengthen the Bond. But she's also been able to work in a variety of capacities, be able to bring together individuals, not only be able to work together, but also, Melanie, this year you've been able to do it to help people heal together too. You did an event, as I mentioned earlier, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was able to see some of the videos from that. What was it like for you to see how see the transformation happening in the room when you were there?
A blessing, because I was the organization honored cancer survivors, and
Mhm.
that's that I had never done before, and that's something I said I need to step out and do. And it also goes back to two of my best friends. They have cancer,
Mhm.
and in the midst of planning this, I started planning this last year, and then I kind of stopped for a second. And again, my my assistant friend, director of marketing and operations, Latasha, ended up having breast cancer in the midst of planning this event. And I,
Wow.
oh wow, Latasha, this means that we have to go forward. She said, Melanie,
Mhm.
yes, because my story needs to be heard. And then
Mhm.
reached out to other people that had cancer as well. And I didn't just honor people, those with breast cancer. I also honored those who had other, um, you know, had that cancer had affected them as well in other areas of their body, like ovarian cancer and like
Yeah.
bone cancer. So it wasn't just about breast cancer, but I said, this is what needs to be done. They need to be honored. They need to have the ability to come out and talk to other women and young ladies and also men that is going through this as well. And
Right.
about the youngest person was in the room, I think Phoenix, she was about, I want to say maybe 25 and 26, and she had a double mastectomy. And
Wow.
wow, so the room was just very impactful. It moved me. It moved
Mhm.
because although I don't have cancer, I was able to see out of their eyes, be able to feel the impact and feel the things that they've gone through. I couldn't feel it physically, but I felt it emotionally. So it was a blessing to see everyone there supporting those who have cancer and who have completed their journey, and also the ones that's still in the throes of it right now.
I think, and that is one of the big things here, Melanie, because again, using your platform, being able to give a voice to someone, but also sharing their story, knowing it's going to help other people. That is one of the big things that all of us to do. Is that what you hope also is an example for others, Melanie, that we can look at what you're doing with Strength and a Bond, and maybe we can't do it on the level that you're doing it, but we can start looking around our own community and see what we can do to be that bridge for others.
Absolutely, because you have to do it on the level that I'm doing it. You can, but you can just do it on a level to where you are out in the community talking to others in
Hmm.
regards to what they are going through, helping those, volunteering, because I volunteer as well. I have gone to the prison system right here in Arizona, Perryville Prison, and talked to the women and talked to mothers and talked to daughters about strengthening their bond with with each other. I've been also, like I said, talked to men. I've talked to grandmothers. So you don't have to do it on the level that I'm doing it on. Just get out here in this community and just, there are different, because like here we have Duet. It's an organization where grandmothers are raising their grandchildren, and their grandchildren, the parents of those grandchildren, they may be deceased, they may be incarcerated, they may be sick, and they may be on drugs, they may just checked out,
Hmm.
like they're too overwhelmed, and the grandmother stepped in. So no, you don't have to do it on the level that I'm doing it, but it needs to be done because there's a lot of work in the community that they need help. The community needs help, and who but us need to be out there helping the.
I think that that is it, to be able to answer that call for sure. So, Melanie, looking forward, I know as I mentioned, you and I in our conversation we had as we were talking about today and kind of some of the objectives. I want to talk to you about another aspect of what you're doing, and that is being able to remind people of the of keep going in spite of. Every day is not going to be easy. Every day is not going to go the way you want. You're not going to get the result you want every time. What is it that keeps you going forward, even when things don't work out the way that you hoped?
what keeps what keeps me is knowing that of people to hear. And case in point, when I was like, I don't need to be posting on, social media, giving words of wisdom and quotes. I had people to contact me in Messenger and said, "Hey, what's going on? We need you." And you
Mm.
don't know, I'm behind the scenes listening and looking. Your word today has helped, and I didn't know. I didn't know. So this is what keeps me going on, knowing that what I may have to say or what I do, it helps someone else. And so for those, um, know that people are watching. You may not
Yeah.
people are watching you, but they are. And whatever you're doing, continue to do it so that you can make that impact in someone else's life, because people are watching. People need you. Every day someone needs you. Even your smile, sometimes when I'm just out, my smile, say, Lord, let my smile bring joy to someone's life. And I
Yeah.
may not even be in the best of the mood, but I smile. I've always been that person to try to keep a smile on my face, because who knows what they're going through, and they just need someone to that smile or that hug. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Such a great point. Dr. Velma Bagby, hello to you. She says hello to you as well, Melanie. So, Melanie, that leads us then to this. I mean, with everything that we've talked about, what are you excited about as we're getting ready to say goodbye to this year?
Two things that I'm excited about. I'm excited about getting prepared, like for the men, talking to the men, having men to write in this anthology that I am working on getting started. The name of the anthology is called The Forgiven, where I'm bringing men to write in the anthology, calling all men who is willing and able to write and talk about their past, and especially the ones that have had, maybe their fathers have not been there physically, or if they were there physically, they may not have been there emotionally, but how their past has helped them to get to their future. So, and becoming stronger men. And that's where I'm looking forward to this anthology. I'm also looking forward to working with the kids more, the youth more, because strengthen the bond, again, it has to do with families. And we're talking about the youth. My course, How to Write and Think Like a Youth or Kidpreneur. And it's a lot of kids that's dealing with a lot of things. And some of them, one of the things mostly is illiteracy.
Right.
And with me helping them to write and be an author, a young author, with me even helping them to become a young entrepreneur, showing them how to become an entrepreneur, showing them how to trade their name to be their brand to be trademarked, even trade name, even getting their EIN numbers, opening up business account, yes, with the help of a parent, but having a business account and making things uh, making it legitimate, and you also talking about the finances, teaching them about business finance at an early age so they won't be overwhelmed when they get to be at a certain age.
Mm.
So that's my thing, just with How to Write and Think Like a Youthpreneur. It deals with that, being an author and being an entrepreneur, but also literacy, because I have seen where um, some kids, we're dealing with illiteracy, and
Right.
it breaks my heart, especially when I hear kids, they are 16 and 17, and it's hard for them to read. And you can't make it in this world without being able to read and understanding what you're reading. So that's two things I'm looking forward to. And again, continuing to work with the mothers and daughters, and yes, but the men and the youth.
Love that. Well, that's why it's so important, Melanie, that we have you on the program today to not only be able to talk to us about the different projects you're involved in, but also those that you're looking to work with. Again, everyone, Melanie D. Phillips has been our guest. She is an author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur. We've been talking with her about the great work that Strengthen the Bond is doing, but also how you guys can be able to benefit from the different platforms that she's building. Melanie, always great having you on. How can our audience stay connected with you?
They connected with me. Go to, and it can be simple as melaniedphillips.com, melaniedphillips.com, or strengthenthebond.com. I'm actually on Instagram at Strengthen the Bond. And I'm also on TikTok, just getting started with TikTok, but I'm on there, Strengthen the Bond.
Mm.
And Facebook is Melanie Richardson Phillips with no hyphen between Richardson Phillips. I always have to say this. I know it looks like it's a run on one name, Richardson and Phillips, but because my previous page was hacked, so I had to do something different so that the people still can be. So, so You can contact me, like I say, Instagram, my websites, Facebook, and by email. And so I'm looking forward to hear from anyone that is willing to just reach out. And if you need some encouragement, or if you want to be a part of this movement with Strengthen the Bond, please do so.
Love that. Well, Melanie, congratulations to you again. It's always great having you on. Looking forward to the next chat together.
Thank you. Absolutely, Cyrus.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you'll make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take
All
care.
right.